Stand if you think it's you. Yes.
Thank you very much. A lot has changed since the last time I've been up here. And kind of a loss of words. Maybe a surprise to some people out there.
What was percolating when you shot your hand up? In other words, you spiked energy-wise. It's very dark back there, and suddenly there's this psst.
Yes. That was, I was thinking about what you were saying, and I've been working and playing with the ideas and stuff, and so I feel like I've arrived to the place where I can check the feeling and then raise my vibrational level by finding a thought that feels good or feels better. And I've been doing that every day for like an hour, and my life is changing very quickly, and I'm just very grateful for that.
We like hearing that from you, and in the same way that we liked hearing from our friend that he goes to meditation to tune up, we like that you set an hour aside and tune up. And what we're really interested in seeing is your infatuation with downstream. In other words, it's the day-to-day, moment-to-moment thoughts that make up the bulk of your thinking, and therefore the bulk of your allowing or resisting. And so, what subject do you want to talk about?
That would be my speaking career. I'm doing a lot of pro bono speeches right now, and I'm really having a great time doing it. I feel alive when I'm on stage and practicing, and I see that spilling over into the bulk of my day when I'm not. And
so what point of clarity are you looking for here?
I think it's I still have trouble in the mornings of getting rolling, rolling. Well,
is it your responsibility to roll constantly? Do you get credit or marbles for rolling? In other words, what?
Well, my marble bag's not quite filled yet, but no, I guess I don't.
The reason that we ask that is because when you make a statement like that, we can feel that you're still dependent upon your action. And when someone says, I have a hard time getting started in the morning, or I'm slow to start, all that says to us is that you're trying to jump into action before you have your energy aligned. And there isn't anything that makes tomorrow morning sure to get off to a slow start than today to be talking about the slow start you had. In other words, you sort of pre-pave or pre-program it. And so that's why we're playing with you about it and saying, so what does it matter? So what does it matter how long it takes you to get rolling, as long as you get rolling? And as long as you're not measuring yourself against anything else.
Right.
It's the alignment that you're seeking. Yes. So why is it important to get going in the morning?
Because I love the feeling of exhilaration that I get later in the day.
And what do you think, what components could you see are different later in the day than in the morning? In other words, can you find any patterns of thought that vary from morning to afternoon? Or is it just the simple statement that you've been making for a very long time that I'm a slow starter in the morning? That could be enough. In other words, that's enough. If that's where your expectation is, then so what's happening is you're a slow starter in the morning, and it makes you want to get off to a better start. And then you're a slow starter the next morning, and it makes you want to get off to and so the momentum is there. But again, it's what we were talking about earlier. We so much want all of you to get the sense that the more things aren't going the way you want them to, the more you ask and the faster the current goes. And the faster the current's going, a little bit of resistance goes a long way in a faster moving current, and that's why it feels like it's not improving. As we look at you from the aerial view, the energy, vibrational aerial view, so to speak, we can see that the momentum of your energy is going faster and faster and faster. And in fact, as with all streams, because that momentum is going faster and faster and faster, even in your resistance, you're being pulled along with it to some extent. But as you keep beating that drum and saying, I should be doing something different than I am, that's the thing we're hearing.
Yes.
I should be doing something different than I am. And those are the statements that are upstream that we want you to try to find some downstream statements to. So give us some statements if you can. Just ramble for a little bit, and we'll just make incredible fun of you as we point out how some of them are upstream, but in the process of this, you'll begin to turn downstream. Just sort of ramble the way you do. What kinds
I'm amazing in the morning. I have amazing energy in the morning. Go ahead and
Well,
make fun
that's
of me.
just not true.
That's true. I'm getting a little bit better in the mornings.
So you start by saying, I'm a slow starter. And here's the thing that we want. This is significant to this topic, which many people find not very compelling because you're obviously thriving and they don't care how fast you get going in the morning. But no matter what the topic is, here's the thing that we want you to sort of lay over it. I am where I am. And we are not the least bit concerned that you're a slow starter because we understand the power of the universe and we know how inconsequential the action part of your life is anyway. In other words, if you knew how little difference the action part of your world makes, you wouldn't be having conversations about how fast you start, because whether you start or slower or not does not make any difference. It's the energy alignment that matters. But when you take some component of yourself and you decide to use it as the reason to feel not good about yourself, now that is of interest to us, because now you're messing with your own energy stream. You see, now you are disallowing the energy to flow that so much of your life has already gotten into motion. And the reason that you don't like the feeling of the slow start is not because you care so much about whether you start slow or not. It's that it doesn't feel good. And the reason that it doesn't feel good isn't because you're not moving fast. It's because you're beating up on yourself and denying your own energy. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So these next words really matter a lot to you or whoever is standing wherever they are. I am where I am. This is just what is. I am where I am, and it's all right, and it's got to be all right, because no one can change their energy instantly. So it's got to be all right. That would be like looking at where you are as on the television screen in your cabin and demanding that all of a sudden, instead of being this far out into the ocean, that you be that far out into the ocean. You're not going to do that. You are where you are. But how you feel about where you are is everything, you see. So talk in those terms. I am where I am. And talk to us about this slow start with a determination to make it downstream instead of upstream. This is the work. Boring, isn't it? This is the work.
I'll start off with I am where I am.
And I don't get started very fast.
Yeah.
But when I do, I pick up momentum quickly. And at the end of the day, it really is of no consequence how I started out, because I finish strong.
Yes. It's true.
I am where I am, and I like moving into my day. And I like it that nobody gets to set the standard of how my day unfolds but me. And I have come to some ways of living life that are working well for me. And I can't for the life of me figure out why I beat myself over the head. I think I'm trying to see myself through the eyes of others and trying to combine an action world with a vibrational world, and innately I can feel that that doesn't work very well. And I think the larger part of me is trying to chill. I think I'm really getting this allowing part down. And that may very well be the reason for my slower start. I'm learning to relax more and allow the laws of the universe to carry more things. And I'm starting to rely less and less on the action part of my world. And I'm realizing, and have for some time, that there's no point in beating my brains out, because all that is counterproductive. And so maybe everything's unfolding just the way it ought to. And as I come more into alignment, I might be inspired to more things, but for now, how it's working is working pretty well. In other words, that's an example of a reaching for downstream comments, you see. And it may be, as you apply that more and more, that you may find yourself feeling more alert and more ready to jump in earlier on, or you may not. But in any case, it's the way you feel about it that matters, you see.
Thank you.
Very good. You'll hear much more about that as we're moving forward.